Welcome to Lesson 1. I am so excited that you'll be joining me today to learn about Burn This Book, the 10,000 Year Plan. Here is the first draft of the cover art. Extreme close-up. Today, we're going to be focusing on all the work that writers put into their first chapters. Now, when you study books in school, it's good to remember that just as our clothes and music have fashions, so does literature. And there are monetary and marketing reasons for this. Teachers, you are the experts on your students, and you know what prior lesson plans have been and what books you've already read. So please feel welcome to pick and choose among my lectures, and I am always grateful for suggestions. Do email me at welcome@THarriman.com. Now, as an example of how writers craft their first chapters, there is a saying, ab ovo, and this is Latin for from the egg or from the start. And maybe a story that exemplifies this, maybe the most notable example, is the Bible, which begins with the book of Genesis, stating, "In the beginning, God created the heavens and the earth." If you have time, check out the clip of a pianist with a sweet stash and beard who's playing a song called Ab Ovo. And teachers, you will find the script and the notes for this lecture in on my website, www.THarriman.com. And it's there that I link you to this piano piece. Now, in this clip, you can see how the pianist starts simply with a single note being played, and the song slowly blossoms from this one note. Another way to start a book is in ultimus res. Oh gosh, my apologies. In ultimus res, which means in last place, the last things, about the last things. So accordingly, the whole book is told as a flashback, as someone is remembering it. And this is used rather rarely. But again, on my website, if you look at the notes, I link you to an example from one of my favorite writers, P.G. Wodehouse. I love P.G. Wodehouse's work, but this beginning makes me grind my teeth in jealousy. One rule of writing is that you try to avoid ruining suspense. Here, Wodehouse is so good, he completely removes any need for you to read on. He merely tells you you are going to like the story, and of course, you do. The third way to start a book, which is most common today, is in medias res, in the middle of things. There's a good chance you've already seen this strategy used, and you will find a link to a clip that probably all of us have seen, even though it was first seen in 1977. Many of you likely already know that this first Star Wars movie has prequels and sequels that had already been created at the time the first one was seen in movie theaters. If you have any questions about the 3 ways to start a story, please feel free to drop me a note at welcome@THarriman.com. And while I've got you here, please like, subscribe, and ring the bell, ring the little bell, so I can continue to bring you this and other cool content. Now, I'd like you all to get into groups of 3 and discuss. Which of these strategies do I use to start this novel? Ab ovo, in medias res, or in ultimis res? I'll have people ask me, because I graduated from Indiana University, Bloomington, as an undergraduate with two degrees, 4 majors in 4 years. And these were English, Classical Studies, and Greek and Latin, 2 majors on 1 BA. And then Journalism and Linguistics, 2 majors on a 2nd BA. And it is the linguistics then that I picked up for my MA. Is the most valuable thing you studied in school? Which of your majors is the most valuable? And I'll say Greek and Latin. It really has been the biggest help over the years. And so if my Latin sounds a little funny to you, because I know there might be some of you that are studying Latin, good for you, then Salve, then you'll be like, man, her Latin sounds kind of weird. And the reason why is because I learned Caesar's Latin. So the Salve, the greeting Salve, the V was pronounced like a W in Caesar's Latin. And Salve, which you learned, if you're learning church Latin, that's what that's the pronunciation you're learning. Is pronounced with Salve is pronounced, of course, with a V. So I wanted to get those in because a lot of times I will turn to Greek and Latin to hide meaning in my novel. Okay, all right. So that as an aside, I'd like you all to get into groups of 3. All right. Now, I would like you to discuss in your groups, which of these strategies do I use to start the novel? Ab ovo, in medias res, or in ultimis res? I will just keep myself busy while you discuss. And in fact, I think I'll play Dionne Warwick's hit classic, Do You Know the Way to San Jose?
I've been away so long, I may go wrong and lose my way. Do you know the way to San Jose? I'm going back to find some peace of mind in San Jose.
And there is a great big freeway. Put 100 down and buy a car.
In a week, maybe 2, they'll make you a star. We've stared into years, how quick they pass, and all the stars that never were are parking cars and pumping gas. You can really breathe in San Jose. They've got a lot of space. There'll be a place where I can stay. I was born and raised in San Jose. I'm going back to find some peace of mind in San Jose. Fame and fortune is a magnet. It can pull you far away from home. With a dream in your heart, you're never alone. Dreams turn into dust and blow away. And there you are, without a friend. You pack your car and ride away. I've got lots of friends in San Jose.
And we're done. At least dancing. Uh-oh. Somebody wants us to keep going. Okay. No, you're saying, no, we're okay if you stop. THarriman. It's okay. Hey. All right, fantastic then. Welcome back. All right, now let's analyze the 3 strategies to see which ones I employ. Do I start ab ovo from the beginning? Really, I don't, because that would mean we learned about the birth of our heroine, Nadine Cray, and the rest of the story would flow from there. Did I start in medias res? In a way, yes, because I start with an allusion. I start with a reference, that is, to Einstein's quote, God does not play dice with the universe. And we understand then that Nadine, our hero, is recounting the story from her perspective. Did I start in medias res? Absolutely, because we begin from the middle of a jet crash. So let's go on. Modern writers are under tremendous pressure from their competition for your entertainment dollar. For example, video gamers and YouTubers. That means we put cliffhangers into the first chapter to get you or an agent to buy. So much work goes into the first line because we know it may be the only chance we have to get you or an agent to buy our book. Writers may also put a cliffhanger at the bottom of the first page to keep you reading. But, of course, the most familiar place to put a cliffhanger is at the end of a first chapter. So we keep you, agents, and acquisitions editors reading on. But writers have other tools in their toolboxes to convince you to read and buy. One tool is to insert the sight of a main character performing a good deed, so you'll like that character and want to stick with them for a few hundred pages. Here, Nadine risks her life to save a pilot. Indeed, if you'll turn to the back of the book, you will see the preview for my next novel, All Hail Queen of the Freaks. I asked beta readers repeatedly to review the first chapter. I didn't know what was wrong with it. It just seemed flat and emotional and unemotional. My apologies. It didn't sparkle. It wasn't alive to me. And then it hit me. The first chapter lacked a good deed. And that is why the narrator saves a poodle from a fate worse than death. Now, not every writer will use the schemes I just described to get you to buy, but I encounter these ploys frequently as a book doctor, so I thought I'd share them with you. Now we've reached the portion of today's video where you and your classroom can participate if you wish. You can take this up as homework because studies show that the more actively the humans encounter information, the more likely they are to remember it. So our vocab for chapter 1 is ab ovo, in medias res, and in ultimis res. Let me shoot those past you one more time. Okay? Teachers, you may want to hit pause. So we have ab ovo, which is starting a story from the beginning. Okay, moving on. We have in medias res. If you want to hit the pause button, I'll give you some time for that. All right, and then we have in ultimis, in ultimis res, starting from, recounting the whole story from a flashback. maybe the best way to remember these is to remember their Latin equivalents. Here's some extra reading. If you would like it, check out Why I Write on my blog and see if you can catch evidence of this post's claims in the story of Burn This Book. You might even want to write a 300 to 500 word essay discussing examples of the blog post's principles in this book. As a small group discussion, you can gather into small groups of 3 to 5 people and discuss how the cover, where did it go? Aha. Discuss how the cover was created to draw in the reader. So, for example, the colors are among the most frequently used in blockbuster novels. So you'll notice that we have teal and blue and dark colors in here, and we've got the cat as well. Well, there's a number of different strategies we used on the cover that hopefully get you to buy the book. So, and if you think that there's a reason for what you're seeing, you're probably right. Okay. A journal entry, a potential journal entry could be for me to ask you, why do you read books? Do they fill a particular need for you? For example, I read to escape all the drudgery of life. All right, well, we've reached the end of our lesson for today, but I have to leave you with a request. This whole time, you have likely seen my fairy village behind me. You can probably easily see the white tower castle, and some of those even light up. It's really cute. But I think the cutest is the 2 hedgehogs carrying apples, and they're on a teeter-totter. Isn't that adorable? Oh, what I would like to respectfully request from you, dear readers, can you give me a name for my fairy village? I don't have a name for it, and that just seems wrong somehow. Well, if you, I will put a close-up picture of it on Instagram so you can kind of get a little bit more idea of the details. If the name you propose is chosen, I will read the name of everyone in your class on the air. And of course, I'd be happy to put a photo of your entire class on the air. Thank you so much. Have a great day.